What if I told you there's a model scoring 82.7 on Terminal Bench, handling a million token context window, natively supporting tool calling and structured JSON output, and you can run it right now for literally $0. No sign-up, no credit card, just a URL. Yeah, DeepSeek just dropped V4 Flash 731, and the AI pricing wars just got violent. July 31st, 2026, DeepSeek quietly upgraded their V4 Flash API. No new architecture, no parameter changes. Same 284 billion parameter mixture of experts model with 13 billion active parameters, but the weights got retrained. And the results, they're not incremental. They're a generational leap. Terminal Bench 2.1 jumped to 82.7. For context, Claude Opus 4.8 sits around 85. You're within striking distance of a model that costs $15 per million input tokens. V4 Flash, about 14 cents. SWE-Bench went from 7.3 to 54.4. That's a seven-fold improvement in autonomous software engineering capability. Val's AI called it the cheapest model on the Val's index to score above 60, and 35 times cheaper than the next best model. And Cline, the popular coding assistant, made it completely free in their platform. Their words, "This is the first Flash model we found that performs at SOTA levels." So what does this model actually give you? Let's break down the spec sheet. 1 million token context window, that's not a typo. You can feed it an entire production code base. We're talking 45,000 to 180,000 lines, and it maintains coherent understanding across all of it. Maximum output length, 384K tokens. It can generate entire repositories in a single pass. Native tool calling. Structured JSON output. Responses API format fully adapted for codecs. Thinking mode and non-thinking mode, so you choose between step-by-step reasoning or direct execution. And here's the kicker for agentic workflows. It's built for multi-step autonomous operation. It can call APIs, execute terminal commands, navigate file systems, and chain actions together without human intervention. That's not a chatbot. That's a worker. The architecture, mixture of experts with only 13 billion active parameters out of 284 billion total, means you get frontier-level intelligence at a fraction of the compute cost. It's sparse activation done right. Now let's talk money, because this is where it gets absurd. DeepSeek V4 Flash 731, approximately 14 cents per million input tokens, 28 cents per million output tokens. Claude Opus 5, $5 per million input, $25 per million output. Do the math. DeepSeek is roughly 35 times cheaper on input, nearly 90 times cheaper on output. One developer ran a repository review task on DeepSeek V4 Flash. 0.02 of a cent. On Claude Opus 4.5, 1.75 cents. Same task, 63 times the cost. OpenCode Go reported 29.5 million requests per day running on DeepSeek V4 Flash for a total of 13 cents, $13 cents, for 29.5 million requests. Let that sink in. One user said, and I'm quoting directly, "I am ready to give up all my data to Chinese." That's how disruptive this pricing is. When a model is 100 times cheaper and competitive on quality, loyalty to incumbents evaporates overnight. But wait, it gets better. There's a free public endpoint. A developer named Victor Mustar on Hugging Face spun up an OpenAI-compatible chat completions endpoint. No account, no API key, no billing, just plug in the URL and go. Base URL, Q5DH1RFFIM23HJ ASIS2 Oz endpoints Hugging Face Cloud/V1. Model name DeepSeek AI/DeepSeek V4 Flash 0731. API key, literally anything. Type hello. Type banana, doesn't matter. It works in Hermes, Cursor, OpenCode, Aider, Cline, Claude Code via proxy, any OpenAI-compatible tool. Fair warning, it's rate limited to about 12 requests per minute per IP, and it's a shared box. Be respectful. But for experimentation, for prototyping, for building your first agentic pipeline without spending a dime, it's perfect. And the full model weights are on Hugging Face under MIT license. GGUF variants dropped within hours. You can run this locally on 8 16-gig GPUs with 12 gigs of headroom. No cloud dependency. No vendor lock-in. Now here's where DeepSeek's roadmap gets really interesting. They're building something called DeepSeek Code, powered by their new Harness framework. This isn't just another API wrapper. Harness is designed for autonomous software engineering, planning, tool use, code execution, long-running agent workflows with persistent memory and full repository awareness. Think of it as DeepSeek's answer to Claude Code and OpenAI Codex, but open. And the benchmarks for V4 Flash were already evaluated using Harness. That means the model you're using today is already being tested inside the agent framework it'll ship in. Closed beta testing is expected to begin soon. And if DeepSeek applies the same pricing philosophy to harness that they applied to V4 Flash, we're looking at an autonomous coding agent that undercuts everything on the market by an order of magnitude. The question isn't whether DeepSeek Code will be good. The question is whether anyone else can compete on price while matching the quality. Let's ground this in reality. What are people actually building with this? One developer used OpenCode plus DeepSeek V4 Flash to build a complete SaaS application, a thumbnail restyling studio with generation capabilities for 40 cents. Total cost, not $40, 40 cents. Another user reported that V4 Flash 731 solved a complex multi-file coding problem in a single round. No back and forth, no corrections. Correct, working code on the first attempt. Teams are connecting it to Hermes Agent for automated workflows. People are running it across production code bases with 100K plus lines. Cline users are getting SOTA-level coding assistance for literally $0. This isn't a demo. This isn't a toy. People are shipping software with this model today. So zoom out. What just happened here? DeepSeek looked at the AI market, where frontier models cost $5 to $75 per million tokens, and said, no, same quality, 2 cents. They proved that mixture of experts architecture, when properly trained, can match dense models at a fraction of the cost. They proved that a Flash tier model can hit SOTA on agentic benchmarks. They proved that open weights plus free endpoints plus MIT licensing creates an ecosystem that no closed API can compete with on accessibility. And they did it on July 31st with a quiet API update. No keynote, no press tour, just a tweet and a changelog. The V4 Pro official release is coming next. If Flash is this good, Pro is going to be terrifying. For developers, this is your moment. The barrier to building with frontier AI just dropped to zero. For AI enthusiasts, watch the pricing, watch the ecosystem, watch harness. The next 6 months are going to reshape who gets to build with AI. Subscribe if you want to stay ahead of it. Drop a comment with what you're building, and go try that free endpoint before it gets popular. I'll see you in the next one.